Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to talk about another game that has been pulled from Steam based on some people saying it's because they offered wishlist incentives. I don't believe that was the case. I believe it was because this game is very not safe for work-esque game. It is a gooner game, as they would like to say. They do have a statement out. I'll go over that statement and we'll talk about that. And on top of that, we do have some other notes. A couple of games are getting delisted from GOG. A pretty major game and very unfortunate, but we'll talk that at the end of this video. Alright, first of all, the game Brown Dust 2 is getting delisted from Steam, or it has been delisted from Steam. It is a fan service heavy gacha game that has that cracked 200,000 wishlist. Now, they were offering wishlist incentives, incentivizing people to wishlist the game, and there was some thought that that was the reason why that Brown Dust 2 was delisted. I don't believe that is the reason, based on the statement that they put out, and also based on the fact that 007 First Light is literally doing the exact same thing as far as incentivizing people to wishlist the game. This has been done before. Now, just because one person is doing it or one entity is doing it and is getting away with it necessarily doesn't mean it's still against the rules, but you know, I'm just saying that in the case of 007 First Light, they are promoting and giving rewards for wishlist. In the case of Brown Dust 2, they did put out a statement noting this. First of all, we would like to sincerely thank everyone who has been looking forward to our Steam release. We have been preparing for a Steam launch for a long time, but during coordination with the platform's policy requirements, we encountered an issue that cannot be reasonably resolved with the current version of the game. So, specifically, they're saying the current version of the game. They can't, how does having an issue with the current version of the game relate to rewards based on wishlisting a game? Again, if I was to take this statement, and based on what they say on the statement, I read it as, it's because it's a gooner game. It's a very not safe for work-esque game. After extensive internal discussion, we have decided not to proceed with a Steam release. We deeply regret disappointing all of you who are waiting and cheering us on. We considered multiple options to make the release possible, but in order to preserve the game's core direction and overall quality, we came to the conclusion that making the necessary adjustments at this time would not be appropriate. Again, that comment as well. How does that relate to wishlisting a game? That to me says something about, you know, the content itself in the game. For everyone who supported the Steam release, we will still be distributing all previously announced rewards, including community event rewards related to Steam and wishlist milestone rewards. These will be sent out after the December 16th update. We are currently exploring alternative PC platforms that can provide a better environment for Brown Dust 2, and once a direction is confirmed, we will share the details with you as soon as possible. We sincerely apologize for not being able to meet your expectations this time, and we'll do our best to repay your support with a more stable and satisfying service. Thank you. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Was I going to play Brown Dust 2? No. Do I have interest in a lot of these games that get delisted from Steam? No. Like, I don't care about these games all that much, but obviously, the point of contention is that there are a lot of games that have quite a lot of questionable material in them as well that are live on Steam. This one, I'm not familiar with all of the ins and outs of Brown Dust 2, but if you go on the official Brown Dust 2 page and you read some of the comments about the game, you can tell that this is a very NSFW game. And who knows, Valve hasn't said anything about why this game is getting pulled, but this is the reasoning that we got from the developers themselves, and the announcement was made. So that is another game that has been delisted from Steam. Again, I'm not really personally trying to get into microtransaction gacha games all the time, although I am playing Where Winds Meet, which does have its gacha elements, but I digress. Brown Dust 2 wasn't a game that I was gonna play, but certainly a story that's been getting followed more and more as more games are getting delisted for whatever reasoning. If it is the wishlisting reasoning, I just find this statement to be a pretty weird statement to pull out if they were manipulating the rules of Steam and they're acting like, oh, it's because of the content in the game, because it literally says, we encountered an issue that cannot be reasonably resolved with the current version of the game. The version of the game. I don't think wishlisting is tied to that, and we considered multiple options, but but to preserve the game's core direction and overall quality, we came to the conclusion that making the necessary adjustments at this time would not be appropriate. So there you go with that, another game getting delisted. Alright, moving on from that, speaking of delistings, this is happening at GOG. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition and Ancestors the Humankind Odyssey, both of those games will be getting delisted. And there wasn't any reasoning given out as to why the delistings will be happening. This was just posted on the GOG forum. Update, unfortunately, I confirmed that the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition will also be delisted, and that's on top of Ancestors Humankind Odyssey. I would imagine that this has something to do with Private Division, who I believe is now under new ownership, and I would imagine that GOG has to figure something out to get the games back on the platform. I don't believe that Outer Worlds is going to be affected whatsoever on Steam, but maybe GOG has different agreements in place to get these kinds of releases out the door, the DRM free releases, etc., etc. Outer Worlds, unfortunately, is not on sale. It's $60 on GOG. It would have been nice if they offered one final discount on the game, you know, get it down to like $9.99 or even $14.99, and I think a lot of people would have ended up picking that up because a lot of people do like Outer Worlds 1. There is some thought that this is going to affect Outer Worlds 2 from ever coming out on GOG. Outer Worlds 2 was published by Microsoft and Bethesda handled it. Games like Indiana Jones have been released on GOG. It's not day one, but I would imagine Outer Worlds 2 is going to come to GOG at some point. I recently beat Outer Worlds 2. I wasn't that crazy about the game personally, but I know a lot of people that did really enjoy it. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I didn't really enjoy Outer Worlds 1 that much either. But again, another game that a lot of people did enjoy, so it would be nice to have the option of buying that game on GOG. So a bummer on that, but yeah, and definitely, even if it's getting delisted for now, I would not be spending $60 on the game. That's a little bit insane. $60 for Outer Worlds 1 is egregious, but nonetheless, Ancestors the Humankind Odyssey, on the other hand, it is on sale, 80% off for $7.99, so that will be getting delisted from GOG, so if you do want to pick that up, get a DRM-free copy of that, $7.99 for Ancestors the Humankind Odyssey. Not a game that's really up my alley, but it is getting delisted, and again, I believe that this is tied to Private Division, the new ownership that they do have, and hopefully they can figure something out and get these games back on GOG. But that is going to do it for me. Again, the latest game to get delisted from Steam, Brown Dust 2 Steam release has been canceled. I would imagine that they're going to try something to get the game back on Steam, and to me, this does come across as not because of them manipulating wish listing. Based on the statement that they've put out, I feel like it's something to do with the NSFW content in the game. And like I said, 007 First Light is literally doing the same gimmick of wish list incentives. I get it that 007 First Light is a orders of magnitude bigger game than Brown Dust 2, but also, if you're a far bigger game, wouldn't you be more abiding by the rules that Steam put out? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. And then the Outer Worlds and Ancestors the Humankind Odyssey, both of those games will be getting delisted from GOG. Hopefully they figure out a way to get those games back up, but we'll see how that turns out. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.